Hey guys, I hope you are having a great day, or maybe it's the evening, you've had a busy day and you have come here to chill out, or you are in luck. That is exactly what we're about to do. This video is all about chilling out. We're going to be using yin yoga as a pathway, but the goal of this video is to leave you feeling totally blissed out and ready for either a good night's sleep or whatever it is that the day is going to have in store for you. I think it's really important just to take that time for ourselves, and sometimes exercise or yoga and even our meditation, if that's something that you incorporate into your daily practices, can be approached in a very yang way. So kind of getting them ticked off, doing that hour because we know that it's done, or 45 minutes, whatever it is you have time for. And actually, sometimes we forget the whole reason that we're doing it in the first place. And so in this video, don't worry about what you're doing so much. Think much more about giving yourself this time to really switch off from everything else and nurture a connection to yourself. So I'm going to be guiding you through, but this is an incredibly still practice, and I'm going to find some nice music to go alongside it as well, so you don't have to listen to my voice for the next 40 minutes. But we're going to be holding the poses for a little while, and in that time the mind can wander so much, but know that that's okay. It doesn't matter if we can't silence our heads straight away. Some days you'll find it easier than others. Just be with wherever you are today and let this be your practice. Take this time for you when nothing else matters. You're going to need a mat or at least a blanket to lie on. Sometimes I like to use both because that makes it really nice and cozy. But I would definitely recommend grabbing a pillow, like one from your bed, if you don't have a bolster. Maybe grab a couple just in case. Get everything you need first so that you're ready to go. And then when you're ready, click play and we'll get started. So guys, the first thing that you're going to do is come to a comfortable seat. So maybe sitting on your bolster or pillows, whatever you've got to hand, and crossing the legs if that's comfortable. If it isn't, then you can just come to kneel down or come to any kind of comfortable seat. Lie down if that's better for you. But just come to find yourself in a comfortable place and begin to close the eyes. So during this whole video, I want to encourage you to close your eyes as much as possible. And while I'm going to be demonstrating what we're doing, I'm going to use my voice to guide you. So really, if you can, use that as your guide and use yourself, your body as the teacher. So there is so much wisdom held within our bodies, and this practice is all about connecting to that and letting that be the guide for your practice. So as you begin to close the eyes, I want you to become aware of your breath. So there's no need to do anything to try and change the breath to begin with. Just focus on the breath flowing in and out of your body. So it doesn't matter if you're breathing deep or shallow breaths for now. And actually in yin yoga generally, there's no particular pranayama, breath control, that we adopt, unlike in other yoga practices. But for the purpose of this video, I think the breath is an incredibly powerful tool for helping us relax and to help us focus on what it is that we want to do right here on the mat. So we're going to be drawing on the breath from time to time just to bring that focus back to the practice if we find ourselves distracted. So with the eyes closed and the focus on the breath, start to feel the pathway of the breath coming in and out of the body. And notice perhaps the belly rising and falling, or maybe the breath is more shallow, maybe you're just breathing into the chest for now. And if you see me on my phone at any point, it's because I'm timing it to make sure that we even things out from one side to the other. But hopefully your eyes are closed and you won't even notice. So as you breathe here on the mat, I want you to slowly become aware of the sit bones grounding down into the pillow, the bolster, the mat, whatever it is beneath you. Find that connection from the seat to the earth. Feel as though you are grounded via that connection. Start to cultivate an awareness of any parts of the body that are in contact with the ground. And for a moment, with each breath, see if you can feel the sensation of that connection a little bit more. And begin to notice what that does to your mind. Does it bring in a sense of safety, security? Does it make you feel uncomfortable? Maybe you can feel the sit bones pressing down into the floor. What is it that connection to the earth and that awareness starts to bring about in the mind? And then just let it go. Come back to the breath. Listening to the sound of each inhalation and exhalation of your breath. Good. Taking just a couple more rounds before we move into our first pose. And then very gently, you're going to start to roll forwards off your block or bolster, coming over the knees, reaching the arms out in front of you. Uncross the ankles and then sit your heels back, coming into a child's pose. So you've moved yourself off your block, off your bolster, whatever it is that you might have had underneath you, and you've just come down onto your mat for our first pose, which is child's pose. So this is a really nice one to begin. The forehead comes down to the floor, and if the forehead doesn't reach the floor, then grab a cushion or grab a block and place that underneath the head. Having that point in contact with the earth, with the block, forehead to the floor, brings a really restorative, calming sensation through the body. So give yourself these next few moments, these next few breaths, to just really feel that wave of calm coming over the body. And maybe if the focus is on the breath, you can feel the rib cage expand in the back of the body with each inhale. And with each exhale, you feel the front of the ribs pressing against the thighs. Just tuning into the sensation of the breath within your body and allowing that to draw you a little bit deeper, a little bit more focused into your practice. So this is going to be a shorter hold as we go through the next 40 minutes or so. We're going to be taking longer holds. But for these first couple, we're just going to keep them short, just give ourselves time and space to ease our way in without making it too challenging right from the beginning. Because being still can be incredibly challenging, especially for somebody that is used to rushing around all the time. So if that's you, and if you find it hard to come to stillness, if you feel like you want to fidget or the mind feels really busy, just know that that's completely normal. Try not to become frustrated. Just allow it to be the way that it is. We're here for just 30 more seconds. Perhaps find a little bit more softness through the shoulders. Perhaps drawing the breath a little bit further down into the back of the ribs. Okay, and then from here we're going to move straight into our next pose. So between most of the postures that we're going to do, we're going to take a rebound, but for now, for this transition, we're going to move straight into a toe stretch. So tuck all 10 toes underneath you and start to walk the hands back towards the thighs. And just have a look back at your baby toes. Make sure that they're not getting out of this one. You want to have all of the toes engaged. And if you notice that you start to lean forward, see if you can draw the shoulders back on top of the hips. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So this one for most people is really, really uncomfortable. It does get better over time, but I'm not going to promise that that happens the first, second, or third time that you practice toe stretch. Just bear with me, stay with me. I promise it's all part of something that is going to make you feel wonderful. Come back to focusing on the breath. And as the sensation in the feet begins to deepen, perhaps you'll notice that you start to draw attention into other areas of the body. So if the shoulders start creeping up to the ears or the jaw begins to clench, then just come back to softness. Focus on the breath and focus on the sensation of opening up that you're experiencing through the feet. You're over halfway, just 40 seconds left. I've not done this one for a while. It's amazing how much more intense it becomes when it hasn't been practiced for a little while. Last 10 seconds. Okay, gently release, come onto the hands, untuck the toes, and then soften back into a child's pose. Alternatively, you can take a rebound, coming to lie down on the front or back of the body, just transitioning as smoothly as possible, turning one ear to the mat if you're on the front of your body. Becoming soft, still, and completely focused on either the breath or the feeling, the rushing of energy back to the feet, back to the ankles. So we're taking these rebounds to let the healing work of the pose absorb into the body. It's really important to stay focused if you can throughout these rebounds and really just feel the shifts that are taking place within your body. And also becoming more and more aware of the thoughts and the patterns of thought that come up in the mind, because that in themselves are really, really useful observations where we just start to become a little bit more aware of the things that begin to show themselves in our practice. So taking one last deep breath in through the nose and open the mouth, big sigh. So from your rebound, come to make your way onto your seat. And extend the right leg out in front of you. Bend the left leg and place the foot to the inner thigh, or perhaps further down the leg if that's more comfortable. We're going to be taking a fold forwards, and for some people it doesn't quite work right and we start to feel it through the lower back, or maybe we can't get the forward fold. If that sounds like you, then you can pop yourself up on a bolster or a cushion. It sounds like me, so I'm going to do that. It just helps you to get a little bit more rotation so that you can fold forwards. Now with yin, this is a really relaxed forward fold. So rather than reaching for the foot, grabbing and trying to pull it down, turn the backs of the hands to the floor and just allow yourself to become soft. So soften the shoulders, soften the head, soften the neck, the jaw. And it's that softness that is going to draw you into the pose. So we're not trying to get anywhere in particular. There's nothing that we need to reach. There's no straining. This is a very gentle practice. The strength of it, the challenge of it, comes from the stillness and the softness, cultivating the yin, feminine energy in our approach. So for this one, we're going to be here for 4 minutes. You have 3 minutes left to go. So keep the eyes closed throughout the hold and just allow yourself to draw a little bit deeper. For some people, this can be really strong through the back of the neck. If that's you, you can take another cushion, another bolster, and place it underneath the forehead. Now, depending on your body, this is going to be, and the props that you have available, this is going to impact how far you can move into the pose. So there's no need to prop unnecessarily, but know that there are always options to make the pose work better for you. You really want to feel this through the back of the leg, or maybe through the back of the torso, depending on where you're holding tension. Making sure that the foot is soft. Come back to the breath. Come back to the feeling of expansion through the back of the right leg. And again, just become aware of any impulses to move or fidget. Really, we only want to move if we've gone too deep and we need to back out. But the more aware we become of our bodies, the less likely it is for that to happen. And the only other reason to move would be if the sensation has begun to subside and we want to take it a little deeper, so you can move the hands a little, soften a little bit more, and just draw yourself a little bit further into the fold. Using the sound of your own breath to guide you. The last 45 seconds here. If you've created space, perhaps you want to try and move a little deeper into it, but without bringing in yang energy, without there being any force. Just let it be soft. Okay, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, big sigh. Without opening the eyes, walk the hands all the way back up towards the hips. Take yourself off any prop. Extend both legs out in front of you and come to take a rebound. Some people find that after forward folding, That back becomes a little bit sensitive, so you can always place a bolster underneath the knees in your rebound if that helps to neutralize the spine. So in your rebound, become totally aware of the energy flow within your body. Notice any tingling sensations, any change in temperature, particularly doing an asymmetrical hold like we've just done. Allows us to really experience and notice the difference in one side of the body to the other. So just becoming aware. There's no need to judge, no need to label anything good or bad. Just becoming really accepting of whatever it is that you're experiencing and allowing that to be what is. With your next breath, slowly start to bring a little bit of movement back. Maybe prop yourself up on your elbows, gently bringing yourself back up to seated. We're going to swap over and take the same pose on the other side. So grabbing whatever props that you used, on the other side. Extending the opposite leg out. And just be aware that the two sides of your body can be completely different. So just because a certain positioning or prop worked for you on the first side, don't worry if you need to switch it up for this one to get the right feeling. It's much more important to be connected to what you're doing right now and using that to guide you. So 4 minutes again. We're here with the eyes closed, being soft and still. So all of the skills that we work with or that we work to develop in our yoga practice and all of the philosophy and reasons why are not really for our practice, our asana practice where we're on the mat. The way that we can really make our yoga the most worthwhile that it can be is by carrying those things forward with us when we leave the mat. But the work has to start here, has to start somewhere, has to start with ourselves. To show more compassion to others, we need to first show compassion to ourselves. So how can you bring that compassion into your practice? What can you do right here on the mat to start cultivating that compassion that you wish to show others and to be shown by others? Be soft Relax the jaw. Move only if you need to back out, or if you're ready to take it deeper. And if you feel as though you need to back out, just ask yourself, is it the mind, or the fidgets, or the distractions coming from your head? Or is it what your body really needs? Is it what you really need? Be in constant conversation with yourself. Last 45 seconds. Move into any space that you've created by allowing yourself to soften a little more. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, big sigh. And then keeping the eyes closed as you make your way into your rebound, peeling yourself up, coming off any props, blocks, bolsters, and drawing yourself to lie down on the mat. Feel the flow of energy rushing into the left side of the body. Noticing the chi, the prana, the energy, maybe it's tingling, maybe it's warm. Just noticing how the left side feels compared to the right. How the right side feels compared to the left. And then release all comparison of the two and let them merge into one experience. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that is showing up for you. Perhaps it is becoming easier to be still, or maybe it's the opposite. It doesn't really matter. There's no right and no wrong. It's just observation of our thoughts, patterns, our behavior, cultivating that greater sense of self-awareness. And then slowly bringing yourself up. We're going to move on to the next pose. Could have stayed there all day, feeling really relaxed already. It's all the forward folding. It doesn't stop there. Let's do a little bit more. Let's come to place one leg at the top of the mat. We're going to come into sleeping swan. which is also like pigeon pose. So you're going to bring yourself up, bring one foot to the top of the mat, send the other foot back, and then come to a place that works for you. So working into the glutes, the muscles in your bottom. Maybe you're going to feel this elsewhere through the hamstring or through the hip. Really depends on where you're storing tension in your body. But see if you can relax the shoulders as much as possible. Again, having your head on a block or the floor or a bolster is a really nice way to make this even more relaxing. For lots of people, this can be a really intense pose. So stay with the breath. If you need to have controlled breath to ease your way in, then take that if that is what you need. And as and when you find space, have the courage to move forwards, to soften a little more, to deepen the pose. But try to keep the eyes closed and the focus inwards. You're halfway. Feeling the breath in the back of the body. Finding a little bit more softness and moving into any space if the sensation begins to subside. Last minute here. Okay, slowly make your way to a rebound. Lying on the front or back of your body, whatever feels most natural to you. hips be soft. Let the shoulders and jaw be soft. Stay fully focused on what you are experiencing in this moment. Okay, you can keep the eyes closed, but make your way onto the other side of the body. So bringing the opposite leg forwards, reaching the back leg away first. Maybe propping yourself up to begin with, if needed. But be soft, be totally relaxed. Surrender to stillness in this pose. Try to remain still for these last few moments, these last few minutes of your practice. Moving, of course, if you need to deepen the pose. Try not to distract yourself. You're halfway. Last 30 seconds. Moving slowly, releasing into your rebound, letting the hips be soft. If you're on the front of your body, turn the head the opposite way. Maybe letting the hands rest by the side of the body or making a pillow for the head with the hands. Feel the impact, the effect of your practice through the movement of energy, chi, through the channels of your body. Become aware of what it is to be you in this moment, knowing there's no right, no wrong. Everything is exactly as it should be. Releasing any bits of control or need to hold on through the body. And then, if you're not already there, turning yourself onto your back, coming to lie down. Your final relaxation pose, Shavasana. Spreading the feet as wide as the mat, moving any props out of your way. Letting the arms rest away from the sides of the body with the palms facing up. And then lift the shoulders, place them back down, give yourself some space to spread them wide. We're going to be here for a little while. Try to stay here for as long as you can, fully absorbing your practice. Take a deep breath in through the nose and open the mouth big, sigh to release. Softening the jaw, the shoulder blades, the back of the pelvis, the back of the knees, the ankles, the wrists, and the forehead. Relax. And when you're ready, start to deepen the breath. Softly bring a little bit of movement to the fingers and to the toes. Maybe you want to stretch the arms over the head. And draw the knees into the chest. See if you can keep the eyes closed. Keep that focus as you gently roll onto one side of the body. Pausing for a couple of breaths. And then bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. If you have time, then perhaps now would be a really nice opportunity to sit with the breath in a simple meditation, counting the inhalations and exhalations. And when you have finished your practice, bring the hands to touch at the heart center. Taking a moment of gratitude for taking this time for yourself to nurture and honor your practice, your connection, and the relationship to your true self. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video, I've got loads more to share, so you can subscribe to my channel by clicking here, or check out another video by looking at this playlist right here.